Pregnant women are a liability to this company, Linda said, looking at me in the HR office. We've decided to terminate your employment. The other HR representatives watched silently. Just then, I got an email from my lawyer on my phone and smiled. My name is Jessica Parker. I'm 32 years old. Until this moment, I had been working as marketing director at Meridian Solutions for 5 years. I was known as successful, disciplined, and one of the company's most valuable employees. But there was something very important that Linda Harrison didn't know. And this secret would completely change her career after those humiliating words. Meridian Solutions was a mid-sized consulting firm. We developed marketing strategies for companies working in the technology sector. I had specialized in this field and was the person who brought in the company's biggest clients. When I joined the company 5 years ago, we were just a team of 30 people. Thanks to the clients I brought in and the strategies I developed, the company had grown into an organization of 120 people. CEO Michael Roberts always appreciated me. Without Jessica, this company wouldn't be where it is today, he would say in meetings. But everything started to change after Linda Harrison started working. Linda had started working as HR director 2 years ago. She introduced herself as someone who modernizes company culture. But in reality, she had begun applying systematic pressure, especially against female employees. Her first victim was Sandra, the accounting manager. Sandra had taken a few days off because her daughter was sick, and Linda evaluated this situation as unreliability and fired her. Then it was Emily's turn from the sales department. When Emily announced her engagement, Linda transferred her to a lower position on the grounds that married women can't focus on their careers. I was watching these situations but not intervening, because my performance was perfect and I felt secure. Until I got pregnant. My husband David and I had been planning to have a child for 3 years. When the doctor finally confirmed I was pregnant, our happiness knew no bounds. I told Michael first. As CEO, he needed to know. "Congratulations, Jessica," he said sincerely. "This is wonderful news. When are you planning to take maternity leave?" "It's still very early. I'm thinking of taking leave in 6 months." "No problem. You're a valuable member of the company. We'll provide every support." Michael's approach was very positive. But Linda's reaction would be completely different. When Linda learned I was pregnant, she immediately changed her attitude. First secretly, then openly, she began applying pressure. In the first week, she removed me from an important client meeting. "It's not good for pregnant women to be under stress," she said. "Let Mark handle this meeting." In the second week, she gave the responsibility of the project I was managing to someone else. "Since you'll be going on maternity leave, it's more logical for you to transfer the projects," she explained. In the third week, she went even further. She completely removed me from client presentations. "Our clients expect a professional appearance," she said. "Your pregnancy condition might damage this image." When I heard these words, I was very shocked. In 2024, it was unbelievable that such discrimination could happen. Linda's pressure was gradually increasing. She removed me from important email lists, didn't invite me to meetings, and even changed my office location. "Pregnant women need to work in a more comfortable environment," she said, moving me to a corner far from the main office. Other employees noticed this situation, but no one spoke up. They were afraid of Linda's power, but there was something they didn't know. I wasn't just an employee of Meridian Solutions. I was also a secret shareholder. The most important part of my story starts here. When I joined Meridian Solutions 5 years ago, the company was experiencing serious financial difficulties. Problems like client loss, cash flow issues, and staff turnover existed. CEO Michael had made me an important offer. "Jessica, You're a critical person for this company's future. I'm offering you not just a salary, but also share ownership. At that time, I was young and ambitious. I trusted the company and was ready to take big risks. I invested $200,000 from my own savings and bought 40% of the company's shares. This agreement was completely secret. Only Michael, the company lawyer, and I knew about it. Why secret? Because I didn't want other employees to see me differently. I wanted to continue working as a colleague, not as a boss. In 5 years, the company's value had increased tenfold. My 40% share was now worth $4 million. This was what Linda didn't know. When Linda's pressure reached its peak, it was time to take action. That day, I was called to the HR office. Linda was standing behind her desk, with 2 more HR representatives beside her. "Jessica, sit down," she said in a cold voice. She opened the file in her hand. "Pregnant women are a liability to this company," she said, looking at me. "We've decided to terminate your employment." The other HR representatives watched silently. "On what grounds?" I asked calmly. "Performance decline, inadequacy in projects, customer dissatisfaction," she said, reading from a list. All these accusations were lies, and we both knew it. "Furthermore," Linda continued, "your pregnancy condition negatively affects the company image. Our clients expect a professional appearance." Just then, I received an email on my phone from my lawyer, Margaret Stone. "Sorry, Linda," I said, smiling. I received a very important email. I opened the email and read it aloud. "Dear Jessica Parker, as a 40% shareholder of Meridian Solutions, you are invited to tomorrow's extraordinary board meeting. Agenda: termination of the HR director." Linda's face turned ashen. "What do you mean, 40% shareholder?" she stammered. I calmly took out the share certificate documents from my bag and placed them on the table. "Linda, apparently you never researched who I really am." The other HR representatives examining the documents were in shock. "How is this possible?" Linda said. "Very simple. I'm the person who saved this company from bankruptcy 5 years ago. I invested $200,000 and bought 40% of the shares, and you are my employee." Linda was now starting to panic completely. "But you're just a marketing director." "No, Linda. I'm also the largest shareholder of this company. And right now, you're trying to fire me because I'm pregnant? This is both discrimination and violation of shareholder rights." At that moment, the door opened and CEO Michael Roberts entered. "I heard what the problem was," he said with a serious expression. Linda turned to Michael. "Michael, this woman has gone crazy. She thinks she's a shareholder." Michael looked at my documents and nodded. "Linda, Jessica really is 40% shareholder of our company. And right now you're committing serious discrimination against her." Linda no longer knew what to say. "But I was just implementing company policies." "Which policies?" I asked. "Is firing pregnant women Meridian Solutions policy?" Michael intervened. "Of course not. This is clear discrimination and legally indefensible." Linda tried one last resort. "Jessica's performance has declined. Customers are complaining." "Which customers?" I asked. "Last month I signed a $500,000 deal with Technova. This week I brought in a $300,000 contract with CloudSync. Is this the declining performance?" Michael added, "Jessica brought the company a total of $2.1 million in revenue last year. She's our most successful employee." Linda was now completely cornered. The board meeting was held the next day. I was the largest shareholder with 40%. Michael had 35%. Other small investors had 25%. At the meeting, I detailed Linda's behavior: pregnancy discrimination, systematic mobbing, legal violations. I also brought up what happened to other female employees, what Sandra, Emily, and others experienced. The board unanimously decided to terminate Linda. Additionally, a committee was established to develop pregnancy and family-friendly policies in the company. I was appointed as the head of this committee. After Linda was fired, other female employees who were her victims also started speaking up. Sandra started a legal process and filed a compensation lawsuit. Emily acted the same way. Within 2 weeks, a total of 5 lawsuits were filed against Linda, all for pregnancy, marriage, or motherhood discrimination. Linda's lawyer tried to defend her. My client was just implementing company policies. But court records, emails, and witness statements clearly showed that Linda was systematically discriminating. Since Linda's references were terrible, it became very difficult for her to find work elsewhere. Her reputation spread badly in the HR sector. Wherever she applied, she heard one of our former employees telling what kind of person Linda Harrison was. Last I heard, she was working part-time at a small accounting firm for 1/3 of her former salary. The support I received from the company during my pregnancy was incredible. After Linda left, CEO Michael assigned me a special assistant. "Jessica, you're both a valuable shareholder and about to become a mother. We'll provide every convenience," he had said. Sarah Mitchell was very flexible about planning my maternity leave. "You can take as much leave as you want. The company will always be here," she said. When I went to hospital appointments for prenatal checkups, no one said a word. In fact, Sarah would say, "Your health is the top priority. Work comes later." This approach was applied not just to me, but to all female employees. The company culture had completely changed. The new policies we implemented under Sarah's leadership: maternity leave, 6 months paid maternity leave. Legal requirement was 3 months. Flexible work, remote work option for mothers. Childcare support, $500 monthly childcare assistance. Nursing room, specially designed, comfortable nursing area. Family-friendly hours, flexible hours for child emergencies. These changes not only supported motherhood, but also created a better environment for all employees. Emma was born on March 15th, 3.2 kilograms, 52 centimeters, a perfectly healthy baby. The birth process was difficult, but David was with me and supported me every minute. During my stay in the hospital, I constantly received support messages from the company. Sarah sent flowers, Michael sent a special gift package. Even my friends from the accounting department had knitted a baby blanket for the baby. The most surprising thing was CEO Michael's visit to the hospital. "Jessica, Emma is a beautiful baby. Welcome to the Meridian Solutions family, Emma," he said, smiling. "Don't worry about anything until you recover. The company will handle everything." These gestures showed me that I wasn't just an employee or shareholder, but a truly valued family member. David, sitting in the hospital watching the situation. "Jessica, these people really love you. What Linda did was so wrong." I spent 6 months at home with Emma. This was one of the most beautiful periods of my life. Waking up every morning with Emma's smile, watching her first steps, seeing her first tooth come out. But the best part was that I never worried about work during this process. Sarah would call every week asking, "How are you? Do you need anything?" Michael would ask for Emma's photos once a month. "How is the company's little princess?" he would text. During this period, business at the company was going very well, too. In my absence, Sarah had brought in new clients. Michael had completely solved the image problems Linda had caused. If we're this successful even without Jessica, who knows what we'll do when she returns, he would say in team meetings. When I decided to return to work after 6 months, Sarah had a special meeting with me. "Jessica, how are you planning the return process?" "I'm thinking of working normal business hours." "No, no," Sarah said, laughing. "You're our 40% shareholder and a new mother. You'll work however you want." Together, we created a flexible schedule: 3 days in office, 2 days working from home per week, full leave if Emma is sick, babysitter support for important meetings, full flexibility during nursing breaks. "This isn't just for you," Sarah said. "From now on, all mother employees will benefit from these rights." When I returned to work, I saw how much the company had changed. After Linda left, employee morale had increased tremendously. Everyone was happier, more productive, more creative. The HR department under Sarah's leadership had completely transformed the company. Employee satisfaction, 85%, was 45% during Linda's time. Staff turnover, 15%, was 60% during Linda's time. Productivity, 40% increase. Customer satisfaction, 92%. New customer acquisition, 150% increase. These numbers weren't just statistics. A real cultural change had occurred. After returning to work, I immediately got involved in a big project. Tech Global Company wanted a marketing strategy for their international expansion. The project value was $1.2 million. In the first meeting, Tech Global's CEO, Rachel Williams, turned to me. "Jessica, we followed your pregnancy process. Meridian Solutions' approach to this issue aligns with our values too. That's why we want to work with you." This was the exact opposite of Linda's theory that pregnant women disturb clients. Clients actually appreciated our family-friendly approach and showed it as one of the reasons for choosing us. Sometimes I had to bring Emma to the office. I was worried the first few days, but the employees' reaction was incredible. Accounting manager Jennifer: "Did Emma come? Great! We have very boring reports today. We needed some cheer." Mark from the sales team: "This baby should be our company mascot. Our sales increase on the days she comes." Michael had prepared a special corner for Emma in his office. "Our assistant CEO can come whenever she wants," he would say. This environment was unimaginable during Linda's time. Now Emma was everyone's favorite in the office. Interestingly, 3 months after I returned to work, Linda called me. "Jessica, can I talk to you?" "Sure, Linda, what do you want?" I realize I made mistakes during that period. I apologize." I listened silently. "Work at Meridian Solutions became very difficult for me. I can't find work anywhere. Maybe you could give me a chance?" This was very surprising. Linda was asking for help from me. "Linda, what you did didn't just affect me, but also Sandra, Emily, and other women. This wasn't just a personal problem. It was systematic discrimination." I know, but I've changed. I've learned." "Linda, I don't have a personal grudge against you, but you don't align with our company's values. I'm sorry." This conversation showed me how bad Linda's situation had become. But I couldn't risk bringing our company back to those days. After returning to work, I had the opportunity to listen to the stories of other mother employees in the company. Jennifer, accounting. During Linda's time, I was afraid to have a second child. Now I'm pregnant and very happy. With Sarah's support, everything is so easy. Maria, sales. When my son was sick, Linda told me she would fire me. Now when my child is sick, Sarah says family first. Amy, marketing. Linda told me your career is over. Now they want me to start a new department. These stories showed that Linda had harmed not just me, but all female employees. The new system was so successful that other companies started taking our policies as examples. TechCorp, we want to implement Meridian Solutions' family-friendly approach in our company too. Global Business, we want to learn from you about employee satisfaction. Startup Hub, would you share your policies for female employees? Sarah evaluated this interest and started a family-friendly workplace consulting service. This also provided additional income to the company. Emma's first birthday was celebrated at the office. At Sarah's suggestion, we organized a small party as a company. All employees had brought gifts. Michael cut the cake. For the youngest member of the Meridian Solutions family, he said. Watching that moment, I remembered Linda's time. She had said pregnant women damage professional appearance. Now we were having a baby party in the office and no one thought this harmed professionalism. On the contrary, our clients really liked this approach of ours. Today, Meridian Solutions is worth $15 million. My 40% share is worth $6 million. But money is just a part. The real value is the culture we've created. When Michael was explaining our future plans, we aim to grow to 50 employees in the next 5 years, but we'll preserve our values while growing. Which values? I asked. Family priority, gender equality, employee happiness, never experiencing Linda's era again. This statement made me very happy, because now what Linda did wasn't just my personal story, but one of the lessons the company had learned. Today, my daughter Emma is 8 months old, healthy, happy, and a very beautiful baby. During my maternity leave, I received full support from the company. Sarah sent special gifts for Emma. Michael called her the company's most valuable asset. When I returned to work, the company had grown even more. After Linda left, employee satisfaction had risen to 85%. Staff turnover had decreased by 70%. New clients, new projects, new successes. My 40% share is now worth $6 million. But more importantly, no female employee suffers discrimination because of pregnancy. Thanks to Sarah Mitchell's new policies, 3 more of our female employees became mothers. All of them took maternity leave with support while keeping their jobs. Meridian Solutions is now a company that has won the Best Employer Award. Our approach to employee rights is shown as an example in the sector. As for Linda, I saw her on LinkedIn. She's still looking for work. Her profile description says, 15 years of experience in human resources. But references speak. No one in the HR sector trusts her anymore. Last month, Sandra and Emily's lawsuits concluded. Both received large compensations. The court decision used the phrase systematic discrimination. I know there are women among those listening to this story who have experienced similar situations. Women who have faced pregnancy discrimination in work life, encountered gender bias, had to work with people who belittled their own value. If this story taught you anything, let it be this. Never let anyone underestimate you. Know your rights. Protect your value. Maybe you're working with someone like Linda right now. Maybe you too have hidden powers. Your shares, experiences, expertise, savings. Protect them. Document them. Own them. You may not have shares, but you have other valuable assets. You may not have patent documents, but you have experience. You may not have a CEO title, but you know your real value. The most important lesson I want you to take from this story is this: people who underestimate you usually can't see your power. And when they see your real power, it's too late. Linda tried to humiliate me by saying pregnant women are a risk. But I wasn't just a pregnant employee. I was the company's largest shareholder. Don't underestimate yourself either. Maybe you're much more powerful than you think. Maybe the people around you can't see your real value. If you're currently experiencing pregnancy discrimination, remember, save all documents, gather witnesses, get legal support. Don't stay silent. Know your rights. The most important point: pregnancy is not a weakness, it's strength. The power to create new life, and no one can use this against you. If this story inspired you, if you have a similar experience, share it in the comments. Let's learn from each other, strengthen each other. And remember, the greatest revenge is being successful. Linda tried to fire me, but I showed her who I really am. You can do it too. You may not have your own shares, but you have your own value. Protect that value, develop it, and reveal it when necessary, because sometimes the quietest people are the most powerful ones. And when the right moment comes, that power can change everything. If you liked this story, share it with other women. Maybe this is the motivation they need. Maybe they're fighting their own Lindas too. I support all of you, and I believe you'll stand strong against people like Linda, because we women, despite everything, manage to stay standing. We can be both mothers and successful professionals. This isn't just my story. This is the story of all women who stand against injustice. Pregnancy is not a disease, it's a miracle. And no Linda can use this miracle against you.